It's an adjustable slab wall, so it goes from -11 to 40 degrees over. So it's 24 foot wide, 14 feet high over the pad, so it's kind of a nice, decent size for setting real boulder problems. Now I'm really excited about being able to set something and just go through set the same line and see how it climbs at all these different angles. I think you can do it for training, obviously, and maybe for comps. I think having walls move is kind of the next most interesting thing to me in our industry, and I think we don't even really know yet how we're going to set with them and what we're going to get out of it. I just know it's going to be very, very cool. I think we're going to do volumes with no texture anywhere for the first 6 months or a year. I just want to prove to people that volumes don't have to have any texture. So instead of running across entire volumes that are covered in texture, I want to use little texture plates like this kind of little island. So big enough that you can hit it with your foot, but you have to pay attention to hit it with your foot instead of slapping your foot over the entire volume, which is fun. I really love running across big sticky surfaces too, but now I want to see if we can start to have to use our eyes and our hand and foot coordination a lot more to have to nail the right thing. So let's still step across volumes, but let's have the volume disappear. So it's the same philosophy as dual texture, except the entire volume is dual texture. And we just put the texture where we want, right? So this one, if you come close to this, you can see this is so bad that it's actually not holdable on a vertical wall. So I think that is exactly the place to start shaping a lot of important holds. So hold shapers usually don't shape something that is unholdable on a vertical wall. Usually if it's really, really bad, you can still barely hold it, because I think all of us as hold shapers and hold companies think that, well, I want to make sure it has value. I want to make sure you can hold it on a vertical wall. But if you think about it, if we're working with texture plates on low angle volumes, we have to start there. The best hold has to actually be unholdable on vertical and then get worse from there. Right now, when people are setting on volumes, they tend to be setting holds that are positive enough you can hold on their own on a flat wall, and they're setting those up and over the volumes. So all we're doing is kind of still holding on to positive holds and crawling up and over. If we start with holds that are so bad, again, so bad you can't hang them on a normal wall, and put that on, so that's 10 degrees, well, let's put that on a 20 degree volume. And now we have 30 degrees or whatever. Now they work together and we can move the texture around. That's how we get really squeezy, really technical stuff. And I'm pretty sure that just all of us hold shapers and all of the hold companies have just avoided that zone. And I've always been really interested in the big zone foot placements. Like in Fontainebleau, if you go there and you talk to a local, they'll tell you the beta, they'll point to a section of rock that's just stickier than the other section, and that's your foothold. And I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. That's purely texture on one angle. So anyway, I love kind of pasting feet and having to understand how much you push in, how do you shift your hips, how do you keep that tension without the foot popping. I've just always been really interested in that. And so I want to build all that system with, again, I believe in low profile volumes, and then of course an adjustable wall, so you can get it just right, and then maybe move the entire thing a couple of degrees. I just think we can dial in that really fussy zone that all of us love outside. When you go outside and you have to spend the entire afternoon or multiple days or whatever, this piece of rock has been climbed however many other times, so you know it goes. You just can't figure out how to shift your balance. I want to build that in plastic more, instead of, oh, I can just kind of pull on this. So that's a long speech for why I'm so interested in these texture plates and these small things that fit on these volumes. Here's another reason I want to make volumes with no texture, like even on the bottom. So you might know how super into stacking and fitting holds I am. And it's all about setting holds that start at 90 and then 10 degrees, so 80 and 100, 70 and 110, so having a match. Well, all those 10 degree angles are reflected in the volume. So this is a 30 degree face on the volume. This is a 30 degree in cut jug. And you can see how perfectly tight this thing is. It's just a perfectly tight seam to the volume. And of course, if we take it off and put it down here, it's a jug that goes all the way down here. It's a really nice in cut jug. So when I put it up against the volume, if I'm digging for this, I don't want texture here either. I want this really smooth, nice, mellow experience. It's just so much more pleasant. I'm never scraping my fingernails.